Hi friends, welcome to another session on agriculture economy. So in last session we have finished with rice issues. Now in this video we will start with a new topic, that is cotton crop. Okay, in that what are the cotton related issues we will discuss in this video. Okay, so cotton is of most important commercial crop cultivated in India, and it accounts for 25% of global cotton production. So India accounts for around 25% of global cotton production, and it is an important commercial crop in India. Commercial crop means it is cultivated for the purpose of selling, not for own consumption. Food crops means they are cultivated for the purpose of own consumption and to sell out the remaining residue. But commercial crops are means fully for the purpose of sale only they will be cultivated. So due to its economic importance in India, it is also termed as white gold. So because of whatever the revenue, foreign exchange reserves it is bringing for India, that cotton is named as white gold. Okay, so around 67% of India cotton is grown in rain-fed areas and 33% in irrigated areas. Rain-fed means generally rain will be enough for the land. With rain water only the cotton will be harvested, means cotton crop will be grown. But in 33% areas they are taking the help of irrigation, means like drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation, or surface or subsurface irrigation. All these methods will be used when there is deficient rainfall, means water is not available due to low rainfall, then irrigation will be used. So India is second largest producer after China and second largest consumer of cotton. So majorly cotton produced in 11 states. Already I told you South Indian states, and apart from that Gujarat and Rajasthan. So what is the significance of cotton in India? Means it plays triple role. Means it provides food, feed, fiber, making it crucial crop for agriculture and textile sector. Because of cotton grown in India, the textile sector is running, and it is bringing foreign revenue to India. So cotton components, after harvesting cotton, kapas, the breakdown is approximately 36% fiber, 62% seed and 2% waste. Means in one cotton flower, there will be around 36% fiber will be found. So 62% seed, generally it will be wasted only. So and 2% waste will be there. So cotton seed is essential for vegetable oil and feed cake production. So cotton oil can will be used in as a vegetable oil. Also in cake production it is used. So market distribution. How is the market? So cotton seed oil is third largest domestically produced vegetable oil in India, following mustard, soya bean. So after mustard oil and soya bean oil, cotton is the third largest oil market in India, and it ranks second in feed cake production with soya bean leading. And also in cake production also cotton is used. So textile dominance. Because of cotton production in India, textile industries running in India, and it is bringing a lot of revenue to the government, at the same time foreign exchange reserves. So Indian textile industry account for about two-thirds of the total consumption, and also for Indian consumption of clothing also textile sector is significant. Main determinants of location of cotton textile industries in various parts of world. So the main determinants of cotton production in India are based on cotton locations around the world. Okay, and also availability of raw materials. Cotton textile industries require steady and abundant supply of raw cotton. That's why where cotton is produced, to nearby locations, cotton textiles companies will be located. So therefore, proximity to cotton producing region is crucial factor in determining location of these industries. Suppose you see Ahmedabad and Surat are from Gujarat, and cotton is produced in Gujarat. That's why their textile industry is very famous in Gujarat area. If you see in Rajasthan also, cotton textiles are very important. Bandhani cloth you might be watching. All these are produced in Rajasthan because the cotton is a premier crop in Rajasthan area. Okay, so labor supply. Labors are also very important for the company to grow, for cotton company to grow, because they have to take out the seeds from the plant, and they have to take out the separate the seeds from the flower. Then they have to give the input to the company. Then in the machine they will work to bring the cotton outside. Means labor play vital role in production of cotton, because from beginning onwards, when the crop is sown till harvesting and taking out the seed, they play a very important. That's why labor availability is crucial for cotton sector to grow. So manufacturing is a labor intensive industry, and availability of skilled affordable workforce is essential consideration. So Bangladesh, Vietnam are emerging a major suppliers of cotton textiles due to availability of cheap labor. If you see, Bangladesh and Vietnam are major producers of cotton. Why? Because they are having cheap labors available there to work. Infrastructure and transport. See, infrastructure and transport is very important, because they have to export the cotton produced to the nearest city. Then only they can sell out in malls, etc. If they make cloths out of cotton, if they want to sell, they have to transport to the cities. So cities like Shanghai, Gunzhou are well developed transport systems facilitating movement of raw materials and finished goods. So apart from all other factors, market access is also very important for cotton industry to grow, because proximity to domestic and international markets is important determinant for exports and all, because they have to transport. Suppose in the middle of Peninsula Plateau, cotton is produced, means they have to send it till the coast, okay, to send by water. That's why proximity to domestic and international markets is very important for cotton industry to grow. Cotton textile industries often locate themselves close to their target markets to minimize transportation costs and ensure timely deliveries. And timely delivery also matters in cotton industry. So power supply is also important for cotton textile manufacturing, because it is energy incentive process, and availability of reliable and affordable energy sources is crucial to make the uh, textiles cloths out of cotton. Machines need to work 24 by 7. For machines, energy is needed, current is needed, power is a very important factor for cotton industry growth. That's why enough power availability means nearby energy projects only cotton industry, cotton factories will set up. For instance, cotton textile industry shifted from Kanpur to western region of country due to erratic power supply. So many industries has shifted from Kanpur area to western part of the country due to current power problems. And access to technology and innovation is very important. Chemens and ancient cities of Germany have strong position in this sector, primarily due to their access to cutting edge technology. Means cutting edge technologies are very important for growth of cotton industry, because suppose if you see, thread has been made out of cotton, okay, and they wants to design the textiles. At that time, some designer is needed to make fashionable clothes. That's why for these to design these items also cutting edge technologies are required in cotton industry. That's why technology and innovation is very important for the growth of cotton textiles in the country. So till now we have discussed what are the factors that are important for cotton production and cotton textile industry growth in India. Now we will discuss what are the key challenges, what are the major issues facing by India for the growth of the cotton production. So climate change, erratic rainfall, it is the factor every crop is having. Due to less rainfall, many crops fail in a year. That's why many farmers will get depression. They feel helpless, and some farmers commit suicide also because of erratic rainfall in India. And cotton specific water requirements are jeopardized, leading to water stress, reducing yields and compromised quality. If water is not good, the cotton flower will not grow properly. So in that case, less cotton will come outside. That's also a major issue cotton is facing in the country. And extreme weather events like floods will be there, okay, Then in that case, in case of floods, what will happen? All trees will spoil. So despite the farmer has grown the cotton crop carefully for around 6 months, if a major flood is there, everything will spoil. That is a major problem. Hurricanes will be there. Okay. And hurricanes will be there. They pose several threats to cotton field. And floods damage cotton plants, while drought lead to water scarcity and hinder growth. Drought means consistently there will be no rainfall for more time, like 2 months, 3 months. So what happen? Automatically the crop will die because of scarcity of water. And temperature extremes because of hot weather or cold weather, that is very not safe for cotton crop. It requires temperate weather between 21 to 30 degrees temperature it needed, means the weather should not be too cold. Means below 20 degrees it should not go, and above 30 degrees means too hot temperature is harmful for cotton crops. So this will reduce the productivity of cotton crop. So soil health plays a vital role in cotton growth. Means absence of crop rotation and proper crop residue management. So what happens? Farmers are using a lot of fertilizers to grow plant. Automatically, what happens after some years? The soil quality will reduce. To keep up the soil health, what they have to do? They have to make crop rotation. Okay, means good crops that do not require fertilizers they have to plant. If they use more fertilizers for 4 months period, another 2 months they have to use a good plant that do not require fertilizer. Then soil health will be sorted, again restored. So proper crop residue management means they should not do stubble burning in the field. So if stubble burning happens, what happens? Automatically the soil health will be spoiled. So low yield means low yield is a big problem. Despite the farmers expected so much out of the crop, but sometimes low yield will happen because of pests or low quality seeds. So technology, okay, is required. Means compared to India, extreme low per hectare cotton yield 447 kgs per hectare compared to China 2000 kgs per hectare. Means China is producing good quality cotton with good seeds, and they are taking care of weeds and pests very well. That's why they are getting many kgs yield per hectare, but India is getting one fourth of China's cotton yield. That is a problem now. And pests and diseases. Cotton susceptibility to pests and diseases is exacerbated by emergence of resistant strains. So monoculture farming means using the field for same crop for many years. Means repeatedly they grow wheat or rice, like that same crop they grow for many years. What happen? Automatically soil health will degrade. So that's also a main problem contributed to buildup of pests and diseases, increasing risk of infestation. So what happened? The risk of pests and diseases will increase due to this monoculture farming issue. And high input cost. Cotton requires a lot of fertilizers, pesticides, labor, machinery, quality seeds. First of all, they have to use good quality seeds. Then they have to inject fertilizers, pesticides to stop the pests or diseases to the crop. And labor, it is a labor intensive market, and it requires machinery, and it also requires innovation. So these all will lead to high input costs of cotton farming. Means if they invest a lot of money, like 10 lakh rupees a farmer invests in one cotton crop, but in return he is getting only 6 lakh. In that case, what happens? He will go into losses. Okay, that's the problem happening with this. This leads to financial burden, and licensing fees is also for genetically modified cotton is very high. And there is competition from other crops. Cotton faces competition for land water resources from more profitable or less risky crops like pulses and oil seeds. Instead of cotton, if a farmer grow pulses or oil seeds, he will get, they are also good commercial crops. They will get same returns in less risk. Okay, same return with less risk. So what happen automatically? They prefer pulses or oil seeds compared to cotton. Farmers opt for alternative crops due to higher market prices, better returns, and low resources intensity. Okay, and because of low resources, if they have less investment, then they go for other crops instead of cotton. And profitability concerns. So I told you, if they are making a lot of input costs but they are getting less output in return, result in return, then they may not prefer doing the cotton crop, harvesting the cotton crop. Okay, so this reduce attractiveness of cotton cultivation. So some alternative crops are less resource incentive, have shorter growth cycle and minimize risks. So compared to cotton crop, other crops are less risky and they are less resource incentive, means they do not require lot of inputs to grow, and short growth cycles compared to cotton. Okay, like within 4 months they will get the crop outside. Like that crops will be there. Then the farmers prefer to grow other crops compared to cotton. And drought resistance. Alternative crops may exhibit greater resilience to changing climate conditions, making them preferred choice. Means if you see millets, okay, pulses, they are drought resistant. They can strive without water also. If there is erratic rainfall in a region, even though pulses can grow. So millets are drought resistant. That's why this makes farmers to prefer to grow millets instead of cotton. So depleted of water ground table is key cotton producing states in Maharashtra and Gujarat. So in some states there is less groundwater table. Means groundwater is less, so that's why they are not having enough water percentage in the soil. This is also leads to failure of the crop. Okay. So even cotton growers face the problem of limited market access. Means they feel constraints, they feel shortages in reaching markets and compelled to sell their harvest at reduced rates compared to intermediaries. Means what they will do, if they sell the cotton in suppose a city like Pune, they will get more return, 100 per kg cotton, but they can't reach over there. So what they will do in nearby city like Goregaon, they will sell out at 60 rupees per kg. In that case, they will get less profit. So market reachability is also a growing concern and a major factor for farmers to prefer to cotton crop. So all these factors led to cotton price rise in India. So cotton price rise has happened due to several reasons. Globally, there has been surge after US, one of the largest cotton producing countries, cut its production forecast. Okay, actually, the USA, largest producer of cotton, has been cut their production. So, following this, cotton has price has been increased all over the world. So, what are the main reasons for this price rise? Pests and heavy rains has impacted production in major states such as Maharashtra and Karnataka. Pests, weeds, heavy rains has affected the crop in some states. And apart from that, cotton productivity is low in India. Already I told you this point. It is only 500 kg per hectare in India compared to 2000 kgs per hectare in China. And also global average of 877 kg per hectare. Okay, due to drop in production of cotton, the price of cotton remained high. So, due to the drop in production of cotton, the price remained high and subsequently government procurement under MSP remained slow. Why? Because if the production is not there, automatically the government procurement under MSP will come down. If the production is good, the government can procure some cotton at minimum support prices. So at least 80% of cotton grown in each of 9 cotton growing states of India is BT cotton. And 80% of the cotton grown in India is BT cotton. So what happens with BT cotton? It will be exported and the farmers will sell at high prices only. So due to BT cotton also the cotton price has been risen. The major problem cotton is facing in India is pink bollworm infestation. Means pink bollworm is a weed that is spoiling the cotton crop. So cotton farmers in North India are considering shifting to crops like paddy, maize, gore for upcoming 2024 Kharif season due to various challenges. These challenges include weak prices for cotton, severe infestation of pink bollworm during previous season, and increasing labor costs. So there has been weak prices in cotton when there is production is high. When production is low, automatically cotton price will improve. And also increasing labor costs and pink bollworm led to farmers considering other crops in alternative to cotton. Means farmers are planning to raise other crops in place of cotton due to this pink bollworm infestation on cotton crop. In Punjab, cotton area in 20 to 23 for Kharif season decreased by 32% compared to previous year because high cotton production area has been decreased because farmers going for other crops due to several factors. The main one is pink bollworm infestation on cotton crop. Some farmers in North India states, including Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, grappling with severe pink bollworm infestation that is pushing them to brink of suicide. Why? Because they are spending lot of investment to grow a cotton crop, but later they are not getting good returns, or they are in losses. So what the farmer do? They will get suicide. So even the genetically modified pest resistant BT cotton is falling prey to the pink bollworm. Even not just normal cotton, even BT cotton. BT cotton also getting the problem of pink bollworm. BT cotton also spoiling due to this pink bollworm infestation, which was designed to resist it. Even though it was specially designed to resist some pests and infestations, weeds, but still it is prone to this pink bollworm infestation. So this infestation has led to significant crop losses, increasing debts. Suppose a farmer by bringing around 10 lakh debt, he grown cotton crop. But after some time, due to pink bollworm infestation, cotton crop has been spoiled. So what happened? He went into 10 lakh loss. So these loss are debt he can't repay in case of crop loss. So he will go for suicide. Okay, because he can't repay the payment, what happen? Automatically the banks will follow them. The recovery agents will follow them at regular basis. So they feel harassment, they will go into the brink of suicide. So the infestation has led to crop losses and economic distress among farmers. So this is causing, this problem has been causing economic distress, economic tensions in farmers. So in Haryana, Punjab, losses due to PWB infestation estimated to be around 65%. Means in 100 kgs, they are losing around 65 kgs of cotton. So automatically what happened? In 500 kgs, they have to get per hectare. How much they are getting? They are just getting 200 kgs approx. So what's happening? It will lead to losses. What the input in cost they spent on this crop, that is losing. So Rajasthan is even worse with government claiming losses up to 90%. Rajasthan is still severe in this loss of 90%. So the region had not witnessed farmer suicides due to debt over a decade. As farmers here typically managed losses and recovered within couple of years. Generally, till suicide has not gone till now. Farmers used to manage their losses and they used to recover within a 1-2 years. But now what happened? Persistent loss is there. Situation has changed due to repeated crop losses. Farmers are experiencing economic distress like never before. So due to this persistent regular crop loss, farmers are facing financial problems. Many farmers in the region are facing losses, are struggling to recover from severe infestations of cotton by pink bollworm. So due to persistent losses, they are struggling for their survival. So due to survival issues, high debt issues, they are going to suicide. What all this situation, why it is happening? It is happening because of pink bollworm infestation in cotton crops. So farmers like Ashwini Kumar in Punjab face massive debts due to crop losses, and consecutive years of severe losses had left him depressed and demoralized. So what happened continuously? If they are getting debts, they are facing problems of recovery. What happened? They will get depression and demoralization. What is pink bollworm here means? It is Pectinophora gossipella is a moth that is major pest to cotton in many regions of the world. It is a moth, it is a weed that persists on cotton crop. It is known as pinky because larvae develop pink bands as they mature. So the larvae will turn into pink color. Automatically the cotton will turn into pink color and it will be spoiled. So that's why it is known as a pinky. It's called in the name of pinky. The larvae are small white caterpillars with 8 pairs of legs and pink bands along their backs. The larvae will be like silk. Silk, silk insects. Like that, they are caterpillars, but they will have pink bands around their neck area. So PWB lays the pink bollworm lays eggs on cotton balls which hatch into larvae that burrow into the balls and squares. So they hatch their eggs on the cotton seed, cotton flower. So automatically what happens? Then they will develop a larvae that is very bad, that they turn the cotton seed into pink color, and they even burrow inside the cotton seed, and they make the family like rats make family inside a wall. Like that, this larvae make family inside a cotton seed. So automatically the cotton seed will change into pink color and it will spoil, destroying the seeds and staining the leaf. So they destroy the seeds and staining the lint. The larvae take on pinkish bands as they mature. So the larvae also get the pinkish bands. That pinkish bands will be visible in the cotton seeds. All cotton will turn into pink color and it will spoil. Like that, they spoil the pink bollworm will spoil the cotton crops. So, what is the action to take from government? The government has framed a panel to report on cotton sector. How the losses are happening, how is the production, how is the foreign exchange exports, so that government will get some revenue from cotton or not. That the government want to get a confirmation. That's why the government has formed a parliamentary panel to report on cotton sector. So what is the report of the panel? Let us see here now. Parliamentary panel on labor, textile, skill development advised government to devise umbrella policies for cotton sector and closed jute mills. So the panel reports that government should take frame policies to revive the cotton sector and also jute mills. So what are the recommendations here? The government should implement an umbrella policy approach for cotton sector, integrating activities across all areas. This would involve overhauling the cropping system, strengthening market linkages, enhancing R&D for new cotton varieties, improving pest management practices. So what they recommend, the government should make an umbrella policy that contains all these issues, like overhauling the cropping system, strengthening market linkages means till from production to market reach. The government should frame policies and plans, and enhancing R&D for new cotton varieties for like BT cotton, and improve pest management means pink bollworm like that pest weeds should not affect the crop anymore. Like that, government should invent new pesticides or fertilizer pesticides that are very effective even against the pink bollworm. So additionally, government should focus on expanding irrigation to increase cotton. So if water is persistent, water is there, cotton crop will grow better. That's why irrigation must be improved. Cultivation, productivity, and address issues farmers face in obtaining genetically modified seeds. Means to grow BT cotton, genetically GM seeds are required that the government should provide through price caps and subsidies. Like subsidy, if they give in seeds, automatically many farmers will buy the seeds. Government lead seed development activities. Even seed development practices plans should be done to improve the production of cotton in the country. So how the government will improve the cropping system, strengthening marketing linkages, improve R&D for new cotton varieties and improve pest management. For this, government has implemented some schemes. What are the schemes? Let us see here now. Integrated pest management. Okay, promote to adoption of integrated pest management strategies that incorporate natural controls, trap crops, and beneficial insects. Means natural controls like bio pesticides they will use, and trap crops, okay, crops care, and beneficial insects means those insects that kill the weed, etc things. Okay, they grow that type of insects. And reduce dependency on pesticides. They reduce the dependency on pesticides and effectively manage populations. Community based seed banks means seeds they provide to the farmers through seed banks, that they are quality seeds, imported seeds, so that they will give good results in the cropping. Banks to conserve traditional cotton seed varieties. Genetic diversity, and they preserve the genetic diversity of the crop and promote cultivation of higher yielding strains, empower communities with resilient and resources. Market linkage platforms means develop digital platforms that directly link cotton farmers with buyers and textile manufacturers. Means suppose if you take apps like Milk Basket is there. In Milk Basket you can find vegetables also. Means the buyer and the seller are directly connecting through an app. In the same way, they will develop cotton related marketing linkage platforms that connect buyer and seller at the same place, so that seller will get a good profit in their by selling the crop. And minimize middleman involvement, ensure fair pricing, and enhance market access for cotton producers. So that by using these type of apps and websites, they reduce the middlemen's involved, like brokers they involved in this cotton sale process. They will be eliminated, and fair pricing will be done to the seller. Like that, market linkage apps will help out. Value addition through local processing. Promote value addition by establishing local cotton processing units capable of cleaning, processing the cotton fiber. Means instead of labor in giving salaries to laborers, they can directly find a local processing unit. They can submit the cotton, then it will be processed and it will come out. Like that, processing units will be established by the government. Create employment opportunities locally and add value to the cotton supply chain, contributing to an employment development. So, in factories, in textile factories, people will be employed. There, they will get some job opportunities. Okay. What are the major initiatives in cotton sector? For all these developments, what are the major initiatives that the government took till now? They are PM Mega Integrated Textile Region and Apparel, PM Mitra Park scheme. This you might be knowing, you might be studied in industry section. Okay, and product linked intensive schemes means if they do this product, if they keep a cotton textile company, then they will get some uh, subsidy from the government. Okay, like production linked incentive, this much production target they reached this month, then they will get some intensive from a company. Like that, some attractive schemes will be there for to encourage cotton production. And MMF apparel, MMM fabrics and products of technical textiles. Cotton development program under National Food Security Mission. Okay, National Food Security Mission is there. What is it? To provide minimum grains to farmers. Minimum grains to farmers are people of a country at subsidized prices. At a subsidy. So in this food security mission, now cotton will also be developed, added, so that cotton development will get a encouragement. So mobile app Cotton Alli to increase awareness about minimum support price for cotton. And there is an app called Cotton Alli. It will provide the minimum support price information on cotton, so that when farmer is selling their produce, cotton produce, at the time he will check in the app how much, what is the reasonable price to sell that cotton. And the last step is branding of Indian cotton by Kasturi Cotton India. Kasturi Bharat initiative is there. In that, they will brand Indian cotton so that it will get a good value in international market, get good preference. Okay. But how this branding of cotton is done means like using some projects, targeting technologies to agri-ecological zones, large scale demonstration of best practices to enhance cotton productivity under NFSM. So National Food Security Mission, under this mission they will use some targeting technologies and agroecological zones, large scale demonstrations of best practices. So means this is nothing but training and awareness to farmers to enhance product cotton productivity. Okay, and Samarth scheme is there. You might know in industry sector, you might studied this scheme. Samarth scheme for capacity building in textile sector means improving infrastructure, improving other things, so that cotton production will be improved India wide. And amended technology upgradation fund scheme means improvement of machinery used in cotton sector. For this, they will give amended technology upgradation fund scheme, means government will provide some fund for factories to get new equipment to improve the cotton production. Like these, some of these are the schemes the government is making for better production of cotton in the country. Okay, implementing these initiatives require collaboration among farmers, local communities, government agencies and private sector. All these sectors has to add up and they must collectively work to improve, to implement all these government initiatives. Then only a good result will come. So these initiatives will foster sustainability, resilience and economic empowerment within cotton farming ecosystems. So these initiatives will improve the resilience and empowerment sustainability in cotton field. So the next topic is Kasturi Cotton Bharat Initiative. So till now we studied the government is taking steps to improve cotton production in the country. But to implement all the schemes of cotton production, all stakeholders must add, like farmers, okay, stakeholders and other government agencies, private factories, everyone should must work collectively to improve cotton production in the country. So for to collaborate at one place, they need one platform, that is nothing but Kasturi Cotton Bharat platform. Okay, this is a website where all these stakeholders, farmers, government agencies, NGOs, everyone will work together, okay, to improve the cotton production. Okay, the birth of Kasturi Cotton Bharat tracked back to World Cotton Day celebrated on October 7th. Ministry of Textiles introduced the brand with a logo symbolizing, and the next ambition of this Kasturi Cotton Bharat is that branding India's cotton, branding India's cotton, so that it will get a value or preference in international market. Okay. So subsequently, an MOU was signed on December 15th, 2022 between Cotton Corporation of India and Texprosil, representing textile industry, formalizing a mission-driven strategy for promoting Kasturi Cotton Bharat. Okay. So one MOU was signed between two major companies, okay, to make the Kasturi Bharat initiative a success. So what is the ambition of the Kasturi Cotton Bharat initiative means? This initiative unveiled by Union Minister Piyush Goyal. Union Minister Piyush Goyal has been invented this initiative, aims to strengthen India's competitiveness in global cotton market and create sustainable economic value for all stakeholders. So at the same time, farmers must get a profit, and at the same time, India's cotton must be branded so that it will get a good value in international market. That is the ambition of this Kasturi Cotton Bharat initiative. So what they want to improve by this Kasturi Cotton Bharat initiative means they want to improve the quality and traceability of cotton of India. So there is a website named https kasturicotton.texprosil. That is the organization involved in this Kasturi Cotton Bharat initiative. Serves as a digital platform for information, updates, explaining registration process for Ginners to produce Kasturi Bharat brand. So Ginners can register themselves, and at the same time the farmers will get awareness of how to grow a cotton crop, and sellers will know the MSP, and they can post the produce also here. Like that, all facilities this app will give. How they ensure inclusivity in traceability here means one of the key features of this initiative is inclusivity. Means cotton ginners across India are empowered to produce Kasturi Cotton Bharat brand by adhering to specific protocols. So all the ginners will get a training of how they can produce Kasturi Cotton Bharat brand. Okay, they are making one brand all over India that is valued or preferred in international market. For this, the Ginners will get some training. Okay, advanced technology is employed to ensure complete traceability. So, how traceability is ensuring means through QR based certificate technology. So they will get a QR based certificate after they did this training. Means to make the cotton, Bharat brand cotton, they will get some training. After done this training, they will get a QR based certificate. So this certificate certifies that the person did this course so and so Ginner, so that he will produce the quality cotton. Okay, like that. It is used at every processing stage, and blockchain based software platform provides end-to-end traceability and transaction certificates. Even what they paid to get this certification, how it was done, and what is the MSP. And farmers will also get some training how to raise the cotton crop. Like this, all details will be given in this portal. Next topic is World Cotton Day. It is observed on October 7th every year to promote production, transformation, sale, consumption of cotton. So this is to promote sales of cotton. And this marks the third anniversary of World Cotton Day. Okay, 2022 is the third anniversary of World Cotton Day. The theme for this year of World Cotton Day is weaving a better future in the cotton. So what is the theme of this World Cotton Day means weaving a better future for the cotton. So what is the ambition of the World Cotton Day? To promote sustainable farming of cotton, to help in development of cotton laborers and small scale cultivators. Okay, to promote cotton sales, what they have to do? They have to improve the laborers, daily laborers who work in the cotton, and small scale cultivators means farmers. Okay, must be improved so that they will give high produce to the government. The World Cotton Day has been started by World Trade Organization by Cotton 4. Four types of cottons are there in sub-Saharan Africa, which includes Burkina Faso, Benin, Mali, and Chad. These countries of Africa has been producing cotton since many years. Okay, the initiative was launched for first time in October 7th, 2019. The proposal to celebrate World Cotton Day was started in October 2019. Initiative was launched for first time in 2019. The World Cotton Day has been organized by WTO Secretariat and the Secretariats of UN Food and Agriculture Organization UNFAO and UN Conference on Trade and Development UNCTAD and International Cotton Advisory Committee and International Trade Center. International Trade Center also involved in this. Okay, it provides assistance for Cotton 4 and other cotton producers countries in Africa. These all organizations work together to provide assistance to Cotton 4 countries of Africa. So, what is the significance of World Cotton Day here means it to increase the value of cotton, which provides major source of income for many rural laborers and especially women. So the ambition is to increase the value means MSP of cotton. It provides jobs for over 32 million cultivators, 50% of which are women. Okay, in 50 million cultivators, 50% means around 60 millions are women that are involved in cotton production. It provides economic benefits for around 100 million families across 80 countries in 5 continents. Okay, in 5 continents, around 100 million families are involved in cotton production in around 8 countries. For the past 2 years, World Cotton Day provided opportunity for sharing knowledge, best practices among cotton producers and traders. So they all these producers and traders will be connected in this World Cotton Day celebration. There they can share their knowledge and make best practices for plants. It also provides chances to raise global awareness about cotton and cotton related products. They also create awareness on cotton and cotton related products. The day aims to expand global markets for cotton producing countries and promote sustainable trade policies that benefit them. So want to expand the global market for cotton, and at the same time they will discuss the trade policy and MSP etc. things also here. What is the minimum price to be exported for imports, and what are the trade duty will be imposed, how much what is the duty will be imposed when cotton is imported or exported, that they discuss in this forum. And they join developing countries also as all parts of global cotton value chain. In global cotton value chain, they will add developing countries also now onwards. The day seeks to highlight importance of sustainable economic development, productive employment, decent work opportunities for vulnerable communities, and they want to improve sustainable economic development in cotton sector and productive employment and decent work for people. Okay, like for one laborers, they wants to improve the decent work. So these all are the ambitions of World Cotton Day. The World Cotton Day has been initiated in October 7th 2019 by WTO and UNFAO and UNTCAD to develop cotton farming in cotton 4 countries of Africa. This is all about updates on cotton crop, friends, in agriculture of India. So hope you like the video. For many videos like this on our channel, please do like, share, subscribe. Next time we will meet with a new video, friends. Thank you.